Hey y'all, this is Marley K. Hope y'all are well. Happy Sabbath. Got a story that I want to share with you. Nobody is really talking about, but it's a big deal because a lot of stuff could happen, and I feel like this could be why there's this sudden, urgent rush to get everybody bedded back down, and all the things that's happening is making sense to me. I don't know if it's going to make sense to you. I'm going to try to add my little 2 cents and make this video long, but y'all really need to tie up your prepping. And it's not because of no darn COVID, although they probably going to put some coochie rumbas back out into the atmosphere. But I feel like they are getting ready to make a bunch of stuff be happening at one time, and it makes perfect sense that they would do this. So, the only place that I see talking about this is the Daily Mail, and I just found it interesting. I know a lot of people don't like the Daily Mail, but I have found a whole lot of stuff that they have been talking about for years. They actually be telling the truth. And they put stuff out there before anybody else. And they usually have more details than other people for whatever reason. So while it may be an evil communication, I just always pay attention to certain things that they say because, time and time again, when they speak, they tend to be knowing what they're talking about, and they break news nobody else is talking about. So let's get into this story. So this says NASA discovers a sunspot so big it can be seen from Mars that could release solar storms that could knock out Earth's power grids next week. Next week. So it would explain why all these videos are online about people prepping, because the getting ready to ramp back up. When we all outside, everybody know you don't know that many people sick. How they know it's gonna be bad next week? Like how you get to be so specific? So it just had me thinking. Um, Before I start this, if you got travel plans to fly, I wouldn't be flying next week. I'm gonna just be real with you. I wouldn't be flying for a minute. I'm concerned because my hard-headed son decided he gonna fly to Seattle, despite all the stuff that I've been telling him. The one that's awakened. Y'all know the one time you decide to be like, oh, ain't nothing gonna happen, ain't nothing happen all this time, be the time that all hell break loose. So pray for my son. These hard-headed young people, I tell you what, don't listen to the elders until it's too late. Anywho, so this says NASA's Mars rover discovered a giant sunspot that will face Earth next week. Experts warn the size means intense solar storms that knock out power grids. NASA has identified a giant sunspot on the Earth that will likely continue to grow and move across the surface until it faces Earth next week. Experts have warned that the dark region, which is cooler than the surrounding areas, could release energetic explosions capable of knocking out our planet's power grids. The exact measurements of the sunspots are unknown, but NASA's Perseverance rover snapped images of the spot as it sits more than 152 million miles from the sun. The rover observed the sunspot on August the 17th through August the 20th while exploring the Jezero crater on the red planet. I personally believe they're looking for the most. I think they know something coming. Y'all be ready. Be ready for everything, including the Messiah. Just be ready. This is too much. The exact measurements of the sunspot are unknown, but NASA's rover was able to snap images of it while being more than 52 million miles from the sun. Because Mars is orbiting over the far side of the sun, Perseverance can see approaching sunspots more than a week before we do. Consider this your 1 week warning. A big sunspot is coming. Space Weather shared in a blog post. Now think about all these people who got electric stuff. So even if you got an electric car, you got battery powered this that requires you to plug it up into the wall and it's electric. What happens when you don't have power? So you don't have good old batteries, or you don't just plan on relying on the sun and the moon, like I said, primitive living, you're going to be in trouble. And a whole lot of people are not going to be prepared for this if this power grid goes down. So I'm very concerned. I'm like really concerned. Like so concerned. I'm going to the range all next week because I already know folks going to be testing and trying folks. It's going to be dangerous out here, y'all. So, um, I don't know if this is going to happen next week, but again, it's just something. It's a data point, but it's a warning, and it would explain so much. It would explain why all the military movement. I don't know if you've been paying attention or hearing people who are um, enlisted in the military, but people have been moving everywhere. Like there's military activity here in this country, moving to states in this country, in particular on the West Coast. There has been a lot of video surfacing of people who work in hospitals and people who are employed with school districts talking about they're making plans for lockdowns. And then there are reports that this extra emergency preparedness money, I'm going to just say it that way, over the last 3 years has gone to beef up and employ more police. And I've been thinking about the fact that they've passed these laws in certain states where these um, illegal entrants can become law enforcement, which would make sense because they would be more willing to disobey. I mean, they would be willing to obey unlawful orders, and because they are not necessarily familiar with the rights of citizens, and they wouldn't care because they be getting benefits that we wouldn't get. It just makes sense that they would do that. Again, I'm just pulling stuff out my butt. I don't know what I'm talking about. I got my tinfoil hat on. It's early in the morning, and this is what I do. So, I just, a lot of stuff ain't adding up, but it's adding up. And then I look at a lot of these stores. If you've been walking around, I don't buy nothing. I'll just go in the store and just be looking. Stuff is marked down. If you go online, they got stuff on clearance. Um, Stores are moving stuff out and shifting stuff around. Where I live, like 3 or 4 restaurants closed in a week. And they're older chains. People would still go to them, but over the years, the business has declined. But there's this steady closing of businesses that have been around for a long time, especially restaurants. So, the first thing that went during COVID the first time was the restaurant business. Like restaurants closed within, a month or two because people weren't coming in because you can't sit inside and eat. And people don't want to necessarily get food to go all the time. So a lot of restaurants could not survive and they closed, especially the big restaurants. And I know that was the case in Florida. A lot of my favorites that were not franchises closed within like the first 90 days of the lockdowns. So I'm just thinking, y'all, these people know something. And again, like I tell you, they always have us looking everywhere else, and ain't nobody talking about this story. So if the grid is gonna go down globally, y'all know they're gonna be tearing us up with all kind of stuff. Whatever they want to do to us, they gonna be ready. They gonna pull out that artificial sun. They're gonna be nuking cities. They're gonna be rounding up Negroes left and right. It is gonna be hell. So prepare for primitive living. That's the takeaway. And prepare to escape. Endure to the end. That's my whole mindset now. Don't be banking on stuff that's perishable. But when it comes to food, try to clean the refrigerators and freezers. Um, don't buy a lot of fresh stuff. Stuff like meats. You know how we buy stuff and just throw in the freezer? Like, don't do that. Um, Rethink how you've been thinking, because if the power grid goes out globally, and they've been talking about trying to start this stuff up, they've been putting out in the atmosphere, well, it could be an EMP strike, it could be this is a natural solar flare that could do the same thing, but it would make sense, and everybody's talking about it all over the globe. So either that, or they know the Messiah about to come, which I think that too is getting close to the next big feast day. In September. And y'all know these people like to use signs, symbols, codes, and things. So if they know ancient history and astronomy, not astrology. They know astronomy and they know times, and they're trying to protect themselves but not tell us anything. It would just make perfect sense. So anyway, I'm finished my 2 cents. Let me finish this article so I can close. The images, which have been turned into an animation, show a dim sun hanging in the blackness of space with a blurry dark formation moving across the space. Across the surface. It takes a large sunspot to show up in these low resolution images Space Weather shared. Sunspots form the sun's magnetic field is about 2,500 times stronger than Earth's. Because of the strong magnetic field, the magnetic pressure increases while the surrounding atmospheric pressure decreases. This lowers the temperature relative to its surroundings because the concentrated magnetic field inhibits the flow of hot new gas from the sun's interior to the surface. And what if this magnetic field breaking is a restrainer to keep out them demons that the Most High got a protection around this earth to keep them out? What if this thing happens and all of everything that has been restrained is getting ready to go live on us? Are we ready spiritually? Are we prepared physically? I just can't even tell y'all how I feel. It's not scary, but so much. I'm so tired. Oh gosh, I'm so tired. I just can't tell y'all all the stuff that I have seen, because you can't talk about nothing on this channel, but y'all really need to do your research. It's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of weird stuff. And y'all see these people already acting crazy. The people who don't have the light in them, they are going to be real dark. And you might live with some of them. Some of them might be related to you. Some of them may be your neighbors. Are you ready? And sunspots appear dark because they are at least 4,000 degrees Fahrenheit cooler than surrounding areas. However, the sun's outer atmosphere can reach more than 1 million degrees. NASA shared stunning images of our giant star in February, showing the range of temperatures surrounding it. Using the Nuclear Spectroscopic Telescope Array, the American Space Agency captured various X-rays emitted by the hottest material in our star's atmosphere. High energy X-rays were observed in only a few locations, while low energy X-rays and ultraviolet light were detected across the ball of gas's entire face. Scientists hope the new views will help them solve one of the sun's biggest mysteries: why its outer atmosphere reaches more than 1 million degrees, at least 100 times hotter than its surface. Alrighty then. Well, that is the end of this article. That is the end of my 2 cents. Keep prepping, keep praying, keep seeking the Most High, keep repenting for sins, sins of commission and sins of omission. Tell your people you love them. Make sure you say all your says, do all your do's. Apologize and seek forgiveness where you should. And try to wake up people. That's all we can do. Obey those laws, statutes, and commandments. And gird your loins because it's getting ready to be wild. Um, there's going to be a lot of chaos. I pray that we are not here when they bring in their new order. So that's my prayer, y'all. Please like this video, share it, and subscribe to the channel. Please share it. Nobody's talking about this, but to me, it's a huge deal. Even if it doesn't happen next week, the fact that it could knock out the power grid for the entire world is significant. And this article, I don't know when it came out. I think it came out like 4 days ago. It came out on the 22nd. And y'all see all the crazy stuff that happened this week, all the stuff that the folks are saying, all these paid actors who are politicians. They're just nothing but paid actors. Everybody's playing a part. The media's playing their part. Everybody's playing their part. But if you don't learn how to read your news instead of listening to your news, you are going to be dumbed down because a lot of people are missing this stuff. So do what you can to prepare. Try to stay out of the skies if you can. I ain't trying to go no place. I need to be in walking distance to and from this house. Make sure if you have to, you buy you a tent. You might have to sleep outside. Or maybe invest in some solar fans or solar AC or electric AC that you can use in emergency situations. Get gas cans and fill them with gas. So in the event you do need to drive someplace or go someplace to get some dummy head who didn't listen, you have gas because if the power goes out, the gas stations won't be working. ATMs won't be working. So have cash. Um, Make sure you have non-perishable food for a significant amount of time. If you got to forego some stuff to do that, then do that. Same with water and drinks. Make sure you have water or a source to get water. And also make sure you have ways to purify or clean water. Buy some water straws or different things like that where you can have your water filtered if you have to use water from some other source. And while you still can, buy you some emergency books, If you don't have a whole lot of money, go to thrift stores. Take the time out and do that. But don't be sitting on your behind not doing nothing. And if you ain't planted a garden, you better be getting your butt some pots and starting you a container garden. Do something. But don't be sitting around. You don't have to grow a whole bunch of stuff. You can grow a few things. Grow easy stuff. But do something. Don't sit around and worry. Don't sit around in fear. Do. Faith without work is dead faith. Faith without works is dead. There's no need to have faith and you ain't going to do nothing. Now, this is a warning and it's a data point. The Most High, to me, I got it from somebody, so I'm sharing it with you. That's the only way we're going to learn. You know, we all watchmen. People are looking at different areas and looking at different people. These are things that Black people are not talking about. But again, our people are going to be devastated because they have not done anything to prepare. And I'm sharing stuff with my people because I know we are always the last to know everything. And even when you have good Black people who are able to get into spaces and let folks know about what time it is, we still tend to ignore them. So, you know, try to wake up people, share stuff like this, and do what you can to prepare. Something is better than nothing. But, you know, if you're going to order stuff, I wouldn't be waiting to something say September. If you got to pay extra money to get it, pay extra money to get it so you can have it in your possession. Ain't no need in ordering nothing and you can't have it when anything goes wrong. So next week is almost here. I suggest you wrap up and if nothing happens next week, I don't want to be a person who predicts stuff. But these people know something is coming. They anticipating something happening in September. So you better anticipate something happening in September. That's all I know. If the rich people are talking about it and the politicians have been dropping little hints talking about UFOs and all kind of foolery, you better be expecting something too. It ain't nothing good. That's what I'm talking about. Nothing good. The only thing good is it's another day, nothing happened that allows you to prepare. That's what's good. It's another day you get to thank the Most High for giving you common sense and breath and life so you can do something, do His will, and obey His laws, statutes, and commandments. That's the good thing. Other than that, you ought to be sick and tired of this world. I'm so exhausted. I'm gonna be crying out every time I sit down and think, oh, I'm going to be crying out because I'm tired. Pray for your brothers and sisters all over the globe, scattered across the diaspora. Pray for true Israel. Pray for the awakening. And pray for our brothers on the continent and sisters who are fighting, trying to fight Esau and them because they ain't gonna let go. They on a mission. And they're trying to take out as many of us as we can because we won't cry out if we ain't here. If we die in sin, they win. So come out of the system. Come out of your sin if you're still sinning and playing around, slipping and sliding, dipping and tipping. Come out. Wake up. It's getting critical out here. And a lot of us are not going to make it. So brace yourselves for what you're about to see. September is going to be wild, and a lot of people are saying the same thing. I don't believe that the Most High is putting this out here for saints and even people who aren't necessarily believing, but people are having visions and dreams and able to interpret stuff now. I've never seen so many people. I hate to say the term predicting, but foretelling, telling things that are about to come, talking about things that are coming. So pay attention. Get your head out. If you still watching sports and watching TV and watching shows, y'all better turn them TVs off and pay attention to these signs and keep watch. Because I'm trying to endure to the end. I'm trying to help my audience endure to the end. I want as many people as possible to give their lives over to the Most High and endure to the end and not have to go through the entire tribulation. I think we're going to have to go through some stuff, but I don't think we're going to have to go through all of it. Or I don't know how far we're going to have to get into it. But it don't say like we ain't going to experience nothing. It tells us what to do when we start seeing these signs. So we need to be getting ready. I don't even think we have touched Jacob's trouble yet. So, Jacob, get ready. All right, y'all. This is Marley K, and I am out.